All right, what's going on, everybody? So we're back to finish, almost finish the engine. We're gonna get as far as we can. Like I said, we're still waiting on the oil pump. So we're gonna do everything we can today. So that includes new head gaskets, freshly redone heads, 16 new valves, and I've got new head bolts soaking in oil. That's just to lubricate them as they go in. I mean, these things look awesome. They got sandblasted and painted. They exceeded my expectations by far, and they look perfect, all nice and clean. So they also resealed these. So yeah, once we get the heads on, we can put the camshaft or the rocker arms back in, and then we can do our valve covers, and then we can put on most of the timing components. But we are still waiting on that oil pump, so we can only do so much until then. Once we get that oil pump, it'll take me an hour to finish it out. So it kind of sucks. It's still three days out. So yeah, stick around and I'll show you how to do this. And I've got the torque specs from Subaru and everything like that. So I hope you guys enjoy. All right, so we've got our deck all cleaned up. It looks like there's still stuff on there, but you go around, as long as you don't actually feel anything, like nothing catches your fingernail, as long as it's all smooth, you are good to go. So I'm just double checking all that, especially right where on the inside where it would cause a leak if there was something. So everything's looking good. We've got our new head gasket, so we just go ahead and before you put the head gasket on, I'll do it again real quick. I'm gonna risk a microfiber, spray some brake clean on this, just because it won't leave any fibers behind. So we'll just give it one more pass. Never hurts to do it multiple times. So that's all perfect. No contaminants on it. Barely any dirt came off. Ideally you get no dirt, but I've gone over this like seven different times. So you can go ahead and drop your head gasket on. It's only going to fit perfectly one way. Make sure all your holes line up. Figure out which head you need. It's going to be this one for me. So I'll move this out of the way a little bit. And you want to do the same thing on your head. I just got these back from the machine shop. And I've got this kind of, it's like a neoprene shirt, something that doesn't have fibers sticking out. And I go around and just wipe it down, get any of the fibers off. So then you go ahead and grab your head and you line it up with your dowels. Push it down. Okay, and then you want to grab your pan of bolts here. I'm going to give them a little wipe down, just so they have a little bit of oil remaining. Get them all started. And just be very careful when you do this. Run them down with an impact. I'm not tightening these whatsoever. Okay. Then we're going to bust out our torque gun, or torque wrench, wherever I put them. Okay, so you're gonna do the first torque sequence to 22 foot-pounds. Okay, so your torque sequence is A, B, C, D, E, and F. So we're gonna go to 22 foot-pounds. Okay, I'm gonna do that again. Okay, then we're going to bump up to 51 foot-pounds, and we're going to go in that same sequence. Okay, going to go back through, do it again. Okay, now I'm going to take a paper towel with some brake clean. I'm going to wipe off the heads of the bolts because I'm going to mark them, and that way I know exactly where they're at, because you have to, I think the next step is to back them off 180 degrees. The next two steps, each step you basically back them off 180. So I'm going to mark the top. Now you go in reverse order for this. You're going to go F, so start at a good point. So that's 180. Okay, so they're all backed off 180. Go back and do another 180. So it's going to be a full 360 degree back off. And what this is doing is it's stretching the bolts. Then we're going to go 31 foot-pounds in our regular sequence. All right, I'm going to go over it again. In alphabetical sequence, we're going to go 80 to 90 degrees. So I'm going to remark the top. Okay, so we're going to go 80 to 90 degrees. We're going to go another 45 degrees in alphabetical sequence. Okay. Now the last step is on bolts A and B. We're going to go another 45 degrees. Perfect. And that's your head torqued down. Awesome. So once we get that done, let me get kind of cleaned up here, and then we'll get to the next part, which is putting our rockers in. Okay. So I'm going to take my assembly lube. Stuff's pretty thick. Squirt some on each camshaft lobe. And then I'm going to grab my camshaft sprocket. And the nice thing is the head shop actually replaced my camshaft seals for me, so that's awesome. I'm just going to roll that camshaft, spread around that lube. Get a good coat on there. Don't be shy with this stuff. It ain't going to hurt anything. It's going to save it from being hurt. Okay. So we got that all lubed up now. I'm going to put some in these channels here. Basically, anywhere metal is going to be spinning or contacting, you want it to be lubricated. Maybe even put a little bit on your valves as well. And we'll set the valve lash once we get these rockers in. Perfect. So let's see. Spin all your rocker arms up to where they're going to land on your valves. And then you start to thread these in by hand. And looks like there's a couple more things to lube. Right here where these meet the camshaft. Okay, so that was our intake rockers. We're now going to put in our exhaust rockers. Start to thread these in by hand. Then you've got your timing mark on this timing gear pulley. Timing gear, I should say. We're going to basically set this camshaft in time, which right now it is definitely out of time. So we're just going to roll it back until we get it lined up. It's going to go straight up on the block, so we're right there. Okay, perfect. We're going to spin these down. Looks like these are a 12. Just get them barely, not even tight, just all the way seated. Start from the middle. Work your way out. Want to make sure our crankshaft, timing is lined up on our crankshaft. Okay. So these torque out at 18 foot-pounds. And we're just going to work our way out. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and do the same down here. Okay, so I went ahead and threw my valve covers on. we're going to have to wait to set the valve lash until we get the oil pump on, because in order to time the engine, you have to have the oil pump on. So of course, it's the last part I'm waiting for. So with that said, I'll go ahead and flip it over. I'll put the other side head on, and then we'll put a few of the timing components on that we are able to. I'll show you some of that, and then we'll go from there.